Brittany, and I want to welcome you to Ladies Takeover Empowerment Podcast, where we're all about helping you to succeed and become the very best version of yourself. So, on tonight, I'm super excited to have some great friends of mine, none other than Pastor Rick and Tracie Pringle, who are going to be with us to kick off season 7, part 2 of Relationship Edition for our episode 7. So please, everyone, help me welcome my good friend, the Pringles. How are you guys
Hey
doing tonight?
y'all. Hey
Hi.
y'all. How you doing? Thank you for
I'm
having
doing
us,
wonderful.
Dr. Carey.
Yes.
You're so welcome. Thank you for joining me and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're busy. And listen, you guys have been all around the world traveling. You still on your honeymoon?
We get it from y'all, okay? Don't stop.
Nuh-uh. Not at all. I am not honeymooning. No.
Well,
We are
the
19
honeymoon
years in.
doesn't end after, the beginning of the marriage. Is supposed to continue. So, you
Okay.
and Bishop Carey, you all are teaching us, even
Mm,
that far in the game,
To
you should
stay
still be,
in the
yeah.
yeah.
You got to
I
keep
got
throwing
you. I
woods on the
got
fire if
you.
you want it to burn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm super excited to have you guys tonight. And let's just jump right in. Tell everyone your names, how long you've been married, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, children, all that good stuff.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You can go ahead.
Well, I'm Pastor Rick, and already I forgot the questions. I'm Pastor Rick, and this is Lady Tracie
I'm
Pringle.
Lady Tracie.
Lady
Hey,
Tracie
girl.
Pringle. We pastor the Worship Center DC on Capitol Hill. We have been officially married in November. Will be 2 years. Um, uh,
Woohoo.
yeah,
That
we
came fast.
we yeah, it came very fast. We did the private marriage and then the public marriage, so a lot of people are
Come on.
confused. Listen,
Gotcha.
a
Hmm.
lot of
You
people are
got to.
confused. Yeah, we have. What do you want to talk about, children?
Yeah, we have 4 kids, 2 teenagers, 16, 17, and then two, I guess they're not toddlers anymore, 5 and 6. So one is in kindergarten. So
We
Okay.
got.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Those days are gone. Hallelujah.
and then people keep asking us about starting over.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Come on.
Okay,
Come
yeah,
on.
you know.
So tell us how y'all met then. Because clearly you do you have a blended family?
We do.
Yes.
We do indeed.
Okay.
So
So
you
how
want her
did you guys
story or you
meet?
want my story?
Well,
I
what's
mean,
your
you both can tell your story because it's probably a little bit of truth on both sides.
It's
right?
gonna be a little bit.
Let's
But if I
mesh
tell
them
the whole
together.
story, it's gonna be a whole lot of exaggeration. Okay, so the truth of the matter is we actually went to high school together.
Mhm.
We
Oh,
went to high
okay.
school together, and she doesn't like it when I say this, but it is what it is. We went to high school and we were from two different sides of the track. Okay,
Oh,
I
Gotcha.
was I was a little bad child. I
No,
was in
you
autism.
weren't.
Well, I was a class clown. How about that?
yes.
So I
Okay.
was even in our class superlatives, I was voted, class clown.
Mhm.
And she was a cheerleader, and yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
she was a cheerleader and a dancer and all this other kind of stuff, and she paid me absolutely no attention. Okay. Um,
Mm,
so fast forward 20 years.
mm-hmm.
We're preparing for our 20th class reunion,
Mhm.
and I just so happened to be planning the class reunion.
Mm.
And yeah, no, right. And in the midst of, we ended up having some correspondence because of some fundraisers and things that was leading up to
Yeah.
the
Because it all happened during the pandemic. So one got
right,
canceled or something like
right,
that. Yeah.
right. And we were the actual first class that was actually able to have ours. So, it was a whole lot going on. So it was a lot of back and forth communication. And that's how we had our initial communication. And then, but the
Gotcha.
funny thing is, we were like Facebook friends for like, I just posted a few days ago, for 15 years or something like that. And
Really?
yeah, so we started communicating that way, and then just started talking. One thing led to another, and she just
He's been stuck to me ever since.
that's not how it's gonna that was her. But yes, it is true. But after the first conversation, she was just yeah. She was like,
So, was he a pastor, Tracy, when you were talking to him?
No. So that's
No.
you about to start some stuff already.
now that is one thing. So, in our initial courting, I guess, dating conversations, he did say, that his goal was to become a pastor one day. And I'm thinking,
Gotcha.
years down the line,
Baby.
but
Right.
No, I meant like in a few months.
right. That came quick. Yeah.
You were the piece that was missing. That was all he needed.
Baby,
I
it was
guess
the
so.
favor from the Lord that I need. I'm so, but the funny thing is, even in okay, and let me go back just a step further.
Mm-hmm.
Um, being young and married, because the truth of the matter is, I was divorced. I was previously married, and I was single for 10 years, 10 solid years. And not meaning that I didn't get into any relationships, but I'm a mortician, so to us, if you're not married, you're single. So
Yeah.
I was single for 10 solid years, and I was praying to God. I was like, God, when I go into this next level of ministry, and I remember talking to my former pastor, Bishop Nelson, and when he first became my pastor, he was asking me what's stopping me or what's keeping me from launching out. And like I expressed to him, I did not want to be a pastor and a single man at the same time.
Ah.
And this was years before we even came into contact with each other. However,
Gotcha.
so I was praying to God. I was like, God, if you want me to do this, you can't have me out here in the street like this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Mm-hmm.
and I went to God with a list, because I remember I listened to the podcast last week, and he was talking about when you've been divorced, going to or looking for a wife or a husband the next go around, what you're
Right.
looking at. So
Right.
I went to God with an honest list. And in those 10 years, I did not find everything checked off.
Mm.
I'm not going to say that,
Gotcha.
yeah, but I mean, it was a long list, number one, because when you know the call that's on your life and you know where
Mm-hmm.
God is taking you, my prayer was, God, you can't just have me out here with anything. I need a help me that is connected to my
Mm-hmm.
assignment, or that will be connected to
Mm-hmm.
my assignment, not just somebody
Mm-hmm.
that's keeping the bed warm at night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is
Exactly.
there is a difference. I'm like, Lord, I'm not necessarily asking you for a co-pastor, but I'm asking you for somebody that I'll be able to, at night after dealing with this, I can come home to. Like, who comforts the comforter?
Right. Exactly.
Who pours
Mm-hmm.
into the poor? So,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I do for a living all day, every day. So my entire life is really based around ministry. So every night when
Yeah.
I come home, for years, every night I would come home, making everybody else happy, doing the work of the Lord, all this other kind of stuff. But at night, I come home to nothing and emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, I can't go into ministry like this. I wasn't
Yeah.
rushing them. I didn't give them a timeline, anything like that. I just gave them, I'm like, Lord, these are the desires of my heart. And if I trust you like I say I trust you, I'm going to wait until you send it. And when I found her, I wasn't even looking for her.
Wow.
It was like the Lord, everything just happened when your steps are ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't got to force stuff to happen. You don't have to make stuff happen. God is saying, if this is what I have for you, and my prayer to God was, even in dating, I was like, Lord, if it's not for me, you purposely block it.
Mm,
So that when
gotcha.
it is right, and it'll when it is the right one, you'll know it. And when she came around,
Mm-hmm.
I knew it because she checked off
Gotcha.
every box. And the main thing with us was when we first started dating. When we first started dating, I learned to value her voice.
Mm,
That's
that's
actually
good.
that's actually what attracted me to her the most because I valued the advice that she would give me. I valued when I was doing. Oh
She like, oh
Lord,
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to hear this. Whoa.
No, this is good.
No, I tried
Make sure
to.
you go back and screen record this,
Uh-huh.
Lady
Oh, she
Tracy.
Right,
is.
He
Look,
said
right.
he
she gonna wait.
values your
She gonna wait
voice.
until we in a heated argument. Be like, remember this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, this is good
Uh-huh. That's how this
because
works.
I'll try to have pillow talk and ask him like, so how do you feel about me and what do you think? And he's just like, do we even have to talk about this right now? So this is good.
Oh,
And the funny
gotcha.
thing is because you know me, Dr. Carey. I keep saying Whitney. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
It's okay.
And you know, so like there are so many things. Well, first of all, I do so many things, so it's so much on my mind all at the same time. And then like when I
Yeah.
come home, and sometimes like when I'm trying to relax, a lot of times I don't get sleep at night because my brain is just constantly going.
It's hard to turn
Uh,
off. Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of times you
Mm-hmm.
sit there, oh, what are you thinking? And I'm like, oh, you don't even want to know. Like, let's talk and have sweet
Uh-huh.
pillow talk. I'm like, babe, right now, I'm just trying to
Mm-hmm.
decide so I can go to sleep. So it's, I mean,
Gotcha.
so it's not like I don't want to share. It's just that sometimes there's just so much.
I,
So then what do you do, Lady Tracy? How do you get him to wind down after having long days and dealing with people who are around death all day long? What do you do?
You
food,
wait.
food.
You do
That's
know
all.
we newlyweds, right?
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
do know. I saw
Oh,
her
okay.
do something that I thought was really, really sweet. So I'm just wondering if she gonna mention
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Are you gonna mention it?
No, she's waiting on you to talk about it.
Well, okay,
You go ahead
so
and teach your class on tonight.
so
How to love your
for
man 101.
him, I know that his love language is food. So
Yeah. Oh.
anything, if I cook him a meal, especially if it's sweets or desserts or something like that, he's it'll relax him and he'll go on to sleep.
Or if she puts on a
Or
good pot roast. Oh, shut up.
yeah,
I know she missed me and wanted me to come home.
yeah. So with that, it was the workers' conference, and he had been gone for a week. And of course, I had that whole setup with crabs and
Wait,
everything.
backstory is since we've been dating, honestly, because we do everything together. Since we've been dating, this was the longest that we've been away from each other since 2001. I'm sorry, since 2020.
Really?
Yeah. It was, and it was funny. I didn't think about it until after. It was like, wow, we haven't been away from each other for a solid week since 2021.
Yeah.
So this was new
Wow.
and this was different. And it's funny. I'm gonna let you jump back in there. Remember that point. It's funny because the last time I was on your podcast, I think the title of the segment was reinventing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and not to know that we were talking about how I reinvented myself in the past, and not to know that my biggest reinvention would come after the podcast that we had.
Yep. Yep. I was
So this,
talking to my assistant about that very thing because
yeah.
somebody else was talking to me about doing a season and a segment around men who were like in ministry that were single. And they were like, Rick was single the last time he was on there, he was
Mm-hmm.
single Now he's not no more. He's married. They were like, your podcast is on fire. I said, that is
Listen,
not what this is for.
listen. She put out that announcement, girl. He the most eligible bachelor in DC.
We
And my
talked about it.
no, but no, that was not. But this
She
is
like, nah.
this is a huge reinvention. And it's funny that you say that, because even in ministry, and that's even what I want to say to even some ministers that are out there that are single. It is very hard for us in ministry being single.
Yeah.
I was actually disqualified. I was in the running to be a pastor for a couple of churches. Thought that I was following the will of God, seeing what, and I was disqualified for the simple fact that I was unmarried.
I believe that.
So it was like, you're not qualified to pastor because you're single. Number one, you're young and you're single. So it's like you got two double whammies against you. So it kind of forces, and it will force you to make decisions just for the look or just for the image.
Yeah.
And I would caution any young minister that's thinking about, how Bishop said it last week, how we grew up is better to marry than burn.
Yep.
I would highly caution any young minister to seek marriage just because of a look, or just because this is what you have to have to go to the next step. Or if I want to get elevated, I got to have a wife, blah, blah, blah. Number one, stop playing with people.
Okay.
That's a game. That's a game. Stop playing with people. And like I say to her all the time and joking, but some people are looking for love and some people are looking for help. How can you make me look better? How can you get me to the next? I'm going for that image. No, I don't want no image, because I was fine by myself for 10 long years. So I'm not going to wait that long and do this just for an image. Because so a lot of people, they thought, oh, well, Rick's pastor now, so he got to get married. He got to blah, blah, blah. So it was like,
right.
He was trying to do that. No, it ain't had nothing to do with that, because the best day of my life was the day that I got delivered from the opinion of people.
I know that's right.
To the point where I don't care whether you like the fact that I'm a single minister or not. I'm not making a decision because of something that you want, because you can, how you take 2 steps forward and you take 6 steps backwards? You marry the wrong person, you get connected to the wrong person, and that would be detrimental to your life.
Yeah.
So you have to pray about even choosing your mate. But I caution any minister that's trying to find marriage just so that you are qualified or acceptable in the ministry world. No, go to God in prayer, because there's ministry with your name on it in a different way, in a different time, and you don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, 100%. So, Tracie, tell me.
Wait, she didn't get back to
me.
her all the way off. My bad.
Oh, it's okay.
But
the sign, the welcome home.
Go ahead, girl.
And the welcome home sign and everything. Wait, did you like it?
I loved it. And let me say, because I say this all the time in our conversation, the best feeling for a man is coming home and feeling wanted, feeling loved, feel appreciated. Yeah. The worst thing for a man is, I've been at work. I left when it was dark. I've been at work all day. I come home to an empty, dark house, no food in the microwave because I'm coming home late. No food on the stove. The house is all dark. You upstairs in the bed with a face mask on and a bonnet.
Shut up.
Sometimes
okay, what if she had a long day, Pastor? Exactly. She had a long day too, and she was working.
I understand. I do understand. But sometimes, a man wants to feel appreciated when he comes home. So and it was totally unexpected. It's different when it's done from the heart and it's unexpected than it's something that I got to beg you for. Or I'm sitting there saying, baby, when you going, can you please? And then one day you finally do it. And it's like, oh, you listen to me. or if I'm not saying
Yeah.
anything about it and it comes from the heart, I feel it. And it was like, you know what? Just like when I came home, I was like, girl, you just be knowing. Like you just be knowing. And I was like, I was blown away. Like, yeah, this is
So,
beautiful.
Lady Tracie, tell me what did it look like y'all dating? Was it similar? What did y'all do? Being, saved, and he was in ministry. He wasn't necessarily a pastor, but he was in ministry. Like, what did that look like for you guys? Were you cooking for him? Were y'all, what did that look like to get to where you are now?
Well,
Cause
it was
girls want to know. They want the ring. They want to know. Did you do something
right.
special? Women think that they want ministers or they want pastors. I be cautioning, like, that is not what you want. You don't know what you're
Baby, you
It's
asking.
ain't
really
ready for
not.
that life.
It's really not. But luckily, I kind of I guess fit the criteria and fit the description because I
Mm-hmm.
I do have children, or and I brought children into the relationship, so I was already cooking, every day and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. And that's something that he likes and enjoys, and he would say
Mm-hmm.
all. As far as dating, we had a really good courtship. Like he stepped up and he really
Oh, I laid it on heavy.
he wowed my socks
I know
off.
he did.
So imagine all of the our milestones, like the engagement and things like that. But it was kind of condensed into how long did we kind of was that like 2 weeks? No, 2 months.
Before
I was gonna
anything.
say you dated for 2 weeks and then got married.
No.
No.
We dated for and
Oh, I
actually.
was like, what?
Year.
So how about
And he
this?
proposed
I
on our
proposed on our 1 year anniversary of us dating.
but like so I'm
Really?
talking about the initial like courtship before we decided to actually be serious with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That that was fun. It was,
Yeah.
and because being being in the DMV, let's talk about it. There is diarrhea in the dating pool.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yes, it is.
I can.
So this was something. It was like a breath of fresh air. It was welcome, and then I'm sorry, but most importantly, it wasn't forced. None of it was. It was
Uh-huh.
just so natural. It was like, like you turn over and you look and you're like, how did we even get here?
Right.
And then like you
Mm.
look back, it was like, we've been together that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in our world, it does kind of sound cliche to say like it was God, but it really like
Really was.
the way that everything happened and we just fit together so well. It was.
But
Yeah,
was it
and
something that you were looking for a minister or pastor? Like, I know you said that he said it afar off, but was that what you were looking for? And then when it did
So
happen,
she
was
didn't even want to be
yeah.
how?
married to a pastor when I told her.
No, okay, so he doesn't even know this. I didn't want to be married, period.
Oh.
Because I
Ooh.
had been engaged before to my children's father,
Okay.
and it's just that both of the engagements, ended. We,
But when the
the
right one
end.
comes along, you want something that you thought you
Come
did.
on
I'm
here.
sorry.
Right. So like after that, I had made up in my mind that I was just gonna be a single mom, for the rest of my life,
Mm.
basically. It really
Mm.
wasn't a need for me to get married. And then when he came along, he made me rethink things, and I prayed on it, and
And then also after we started dating, life took a turn. Like her mother took
Mm.
ill, and that
Uh,
became a whole situation within itself.
yeah.
So like life,
Even with that, like with my mom becoming terminally ill, it was like he's a mortician. Like that's why I'm saying like
yeah.
everything happened. It was God.
so let me go a step
Mm.
further. I told the story at her mother's funeral. The day that they called us to the hospital that her mother was getting ready to transition, we were there with her mother all day, and the children had come in the room and they was, spending their last moments with their grandmother. And once they went out to go to the bathroom, I said, well, let's fix her up, make her comfortable. I said to her, it was only me, Tracie, and her two girlfriends in the room. And I told her girlfriends, I said, well, let's fix her up, make her comfortable. So I told them what to do, and they went over there and tried it, and it just wasn't working. It was like, okay, well, you're the mortician. This is more of your thing. Like, you come do it. So I went and I made her comfortable, and I made her, at peace, rolled up the towels and everything, all the other kind of stuff. And as soon as I took my hands off her, the moment that I took my hands off her, she slipped in the glory. It's like she
Oh,
was comfortable,
wow.
and it was almost
Wow.
like the same thing. She was, and another thing, we got married early because of her. We knew that her health
Mm,
was failing,
Mhm.
and she would not make it to our actual wedding date. So we actually got married prior to because of her. And the
mm,
allowed that she would be there to witness us get married, and she was called home
mm.
3 weeks later. So it was
Wow.
so it was almost like she was only holding on long enough
Mhm.
to see
To
her only
see her,
child
right, get married.
get married and be off in
That's
good hands.
beautiful. That's
And the day that
beautiful.
she stepped out of here was like, all right, I trust you. I'm gone.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is
And
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
like anybody in my family, that's all they would say. Like, your mom really, she wanted you to be married so bad.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. But the amazing or the beautiful thing about it is to know that she trusted Rick with you, and
Yeah.
then when I think about it, that's a heavy weight, that's a heavy burden
Mhm.
and a heavy responsibility that you
Yeah.
have to carry. I remember when my father was passing, and Dominique said the same thing, that my father like kind of pulled him to the side and grabbed his hand when we were in the hospital, and nobody else was there, and he told him, he was like, I trust you, man. Like,
Yeah.
this is on you to take that
Mhm.
responsibility. That's a heavy burden, a
Yes.
heavy responsibility to take care of when the parent is telling you, I'm going on to glory now. Now you take care of my child that I
Mhm.
love so dearly.
Not just my child, my grandchildren as well.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely,
And I'm
absolutely.
so
But I know
grateful.
that you're the one for the task. Like, Rick is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so
Mm-hmm.
grateful that they got to experience each other the way that they did. They really got to develop a good, relationship.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
my mom, she started having strokes, and she had like aphasia and memory loss and things like that.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
they built their relationship before all of that happened. So I'm
Mm.
so grateful, that
Girl, we'll be dancing and singing, doing the butt, EU doing the butt. Listen,
Oh,
like, get it,
that
girl.
is great. That is amazing. Well, let's talk about this. Tell me, in the short amount of time that you guys have developed your relationship, have you encountered conflict? And if you have, why are you laughing? Ah, how do you guys find yourselves dealing with conflict? Like, what do you do?
You want me to start, or you? No, I'll let you start, and then I'll wrap it up.
um well, for me, I guess I had to kind of learn his personality because he has a very like alpha personality. So
Mm.
um
Don't make me look like that to the people.
Well,
everybody knows you, Rick. Like, they know these things. So so I guess, because I am an only child and things like that, I'm more coy, I guess, and soft. And so sometimes when he would have a certain tone and things like that, I not startle me, but I would be taken aback. So I had to kind of get used to the way that he expressed himself, um, so that there would be less conflict.
So I'll jump in. I had to learn. I'm still learning, and it's an ever learning process. Where I had to soften who I am.
Mm.
Because going through life as
Not
she.
lessen, but just something. It's important.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah, not lessen who I am, but
Right.
just soften.
Yeah.
And like how I train my team at work, it's not what you say most of the time, it's how you say it. Um, and you win with honey more than you do with vinegar. So a lot of
Mhm.
times I'm so used, and I'm a former Marine, so I'm so raw, like get it done. I'm so mission oriented and talking to my staff and dealing with folk that are helping me to get stuff done. So that when you come home, um, who are you talking to? You can't talk to me like you talking to the people at the
Right.
church, the people at your job, the people at
Right.
else.
I'm
Because
not
first
your
of all,
employee.
yeah, I'm not your employee. So you
Uh-huh.
have to talk to me like that. And then at the same token, you flip it around like I'm not your child.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
know you. I know you're
Mhm.
dealing with the children all day, but when it comes to me, you don't address me like you're addressing them because I ain't your child, boo boo. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's a constant lesson, and I mean that communication is something that we're always trying to become better at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
let
then
me tell
okay.
you, one time, well, I just saw Rick not too long ago at a funeral, and when he was like, "Hey, I said move right now." I said, "Ooh,
It
he
gets
is
intense.
not playing
They
around."
know you.
Like
That's what makes
when
me
he get
so
to
good.
talking, I was like, "You better not play with Rick. You better do what he said do." He said, "Move that body, move that body." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, you better get out his way."
I'm just a
So
perfectionist, and
yeah,
most people that work with me,
don't
they
be
know my
doing that
heart.
to Tracy when she at home, Rick.
I know.
Don't
Listen,
talk to
I
her
don't.
like
Oh,
that.
trust me.
I check him.
If nobody else does, and then she'll come back. Your mama may not have checked you, but I'm a check. Yeah, but I want to get back to conflict. So as we mentioned earlier, it's a blended family.
Yeah,
Um, so we had to learn early, early on how children can play a role in blended families
yeah,
and pulling us away from each other.
yeah.
We even had to have a conversation where we even had a sit down. We had a sit down with her children's father, and we had a whole come to Jesus with all of us, where we even
That's
had to let the
great.
children know, hey, y'all not gonna pull us apart from each other. If she says it's one thing, I'm like, you can best believe I'm gonna be 10 toes down on whatever she said. Don't come to
That's
me
great.
afterwards talking about some, oh, can I do something after you ask your mother and your mother said no? Because trust and believe, I'm gonna go check with your mother, and whatever she said goes.
That's it.
And we had to learn
Mm-hmm.
early on, no, we got to be a united front.
Right.
If
Yep.
you say no, we both saying no together, not we saying no with our mouth and shaking our head. No, If
Right.
our no means no and our yes means yes. And if she's saying no, even if I want to say yes, your mama said no. And we had to learn that early
Mm-hmm.
on. And not even just that, even with the church, because First Lady, co-pastor, the
Yeah.
church, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even
Yes.
where you have to learn how you don't allow the church folk or the church business or even the church members and their issues to come in between
To
us.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Yes.
mm-mm.
That's
We're
great.
not going to allow
Mm-hmm.
that. Liar.
Yeah, and that brings me to a point that one of the questions I was going to ask is how do you maneuver, how do you find yourselves maneuvering through um the intricacies of being married at home and being pastor and first lady, because there is a difference. And so sometimes people do play on those buttons. They know um Pastor Rick's soft spots, you know what I mean? And they may know that Lady Tracie, they take her meekness for a weakness. So how do you guys balance each other out when it comes to things like that, dealing with people at the church?
So I'll say this: we talk about everything.
Yeah, and we have each other's back. So
So
Good.
that when you go to Lady Tracie after I already said something, no. And then at the same, so we've learned, through the ups and downs of ministry, we've learned that, regardless of what's going on, they come back and check everything with me to make sure we're all on the same page. And then at the same token, we are very grateful. We are very, 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 very grateful that we have surrounded ourselves with wise counsel.
Good.
We can both be successful in ministry and our secular jobs, all this other kind of stuff, but we're new to marriage. So we're
Yeah.
grateful that we have some wise folk who are willing to hold our hands and get down in the trenches with us, and walk us through this thing.
Get down in prayer with us.
And when I say
I
get
know
down
that's
in
right.
trenches, I mean in the trenches where it's muddy.
Good.
I mean, get
Good.
down there with us and walk us through it, because every day ain't peaches and cream. And then the thing that
No.
we have to understand, is that it's more spiritual than we think.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
the devil knows in advance what God has formed here and the potential, and where we're going, if he can try to get in and separate and stop this now, then he gonna
Oh yeah.
do everything that he possibly can to try to make that happen. So you have to be rooted and grounded in prayer, and regardless of what
Mm-hmm.
comes, what happens, we gonna make this thing work. You ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. If she think I'm going somewhere, I'm picking up a bag and I'm going right where she going.
That's how to me even before we got married.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, because when you pray for something, and this not even just relationships, when you pray to God for something for so long, and when God actually gives you or rewards you with what you've been praying for,
Yeah.
what do you do with the gift that God gives you?
Yeah.
How how do you treat that gift? How do you take care of that gift? So every
Yeah.
day I'm praying, Lord, show me how I'm supposed to love her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been through a marriage before. I know how to mess it up. I know how
Mm-hmm.
to make an effective mess of a marriage. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Lord, this go around, help me do this the right way.
That's
Teach
awesome.
me how, teach me how to love her.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. So then when it comes to your blended family, and you said that you guys are a united front, which is very, very important. What other advice can you give people that are going in our newly married? Because Bishop and I, we counsel people all the time, and that is a huge problem when you're bringing in kids, exes, trying to blend families, even in-laws, trying to blend families because you guys are good. You guys love each other, but
Mhm.
it's the outside mixture of the families that sometimes creates a lot of tension. So for the people who are watching, what advice could you give them?
You want to go first?
Um, we keep each other first, and like he said about church, we discuss everything. So it's hard for anybody to come in between, and do the he said, she said thing with us, because we're always, in communication with each other. Um, One of the other things about the blended family was parenting styles. So we had to
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
we had to blend with each other on our parenting styles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Because of course
That's
I'm a little
true.
right,
and and
right.
and the funny thing is, oh, she wants to know why you feel that way. How do you think? Tell me how you feel.
Because
And me growing up, my background, I don't care how you feel. You do as you told. I'll say it. We had to.
Yeah, I mean, I was raised the same way. I'm a girl, and my brother, I didn't get beat. I got like
Mhm,
slapped a couple times for getting smart, but I didn't get
Mhm,
mhm,
like beat. But my
mhm,
brother got
mhm.
beat because I was a
mhm.
girl. I'm a daddy's girl, so it wasn't the same. We didn't get treated the same. So then now I have two boys, and my husband, he like taking belts, he taking the back of his brush, and I'm
Do
like,
it, Bishop. Do
oh,
it.
wait, wait.
Do it.
I'm like, abuse, abuse. Hold on.
Right, exactly,
No, we
Do
cannot.
it, Bishop.
exactly.
The child is two. What are we doing? And
Do
I'm
it the
like
Bible
stopping in
way.
front of him. No, he jumping off
Yeah,
the pulpit.
yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
hurting my kids. I'm like, they're just crying. I got it. It's okay.
Yeah,
Like, no, stop, stop. And he's like, no, they boys. You gonna make them soft. I'm like,
mhm,
what is
yeah.
happening here? I don't even understand what's going
Because we
on.
discipline a different way, and the balance is important.
Right.
Because
Both are
even
needed
yeah,
at
because
times.
even now, like she can be saying something, and they know I'm coming right behind her as the enforcer. She'll say something, they'll pay her no attention. They still playing the game. Did you hear what your mother said? Instantly, they want to say it.
I feel like it's a man thing.
It is.
But
It's that
but
male
but
authority, that
truthfully,
male
but look,
voice.
Right.
when that happens, you can see her standing in the background like, told you. Now listen.
Yeah, that's
Like I got your back, boo.
yeah, that's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's a fine line, right? Because, like, I want that, but then, like, I don't need you going so far that, like, you
Mhm,
just ruined
mhm.
the whole, you just
Yeah,
brought the whole room down, like, to a whole
yeah,
nother level.
yeah,
I don't even know what's going on. It wasn't even that serious. Like, you'd be
yeah.
like,
But
don't
then that's
disrespect
the
your mother.
time.
I'm like, I didn't feel disrespected. I'm fine. I'm good. It's okay.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah.
I want to add something too before we leave this portion, but I want to go back a step further because I want to say to some people that are listening to this podcast or that's watching later on, and we talk about the whole dating scene, and I
Uh huh.
understand where a lot of people, most definitely mothers, it's hard for them to date with children because
Yeah.
you take on the feeling, okay, well, nobody want me. I have four
Who
kids.
said
I
that?
had okay.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like
I didn't
that.
say you said that. Okay, you're different. All right. We're talking about other people. All
Okay.
right. Okay. Let's do some ministry. Let's talk to the. But no, there are some
Uh-huh.
people who feel,
Help somebody.
and the dating scene will have you feeling like that because you have children. People see that as baggage. I don't want to date anybody with children, or okay, you have four children. I don't want to date anybody with four children, or
Hmm.
you've been married before. You did everything the right way. You ain't got a whole bunch of baby daddies, but now you're out here. You're single again. I want you to know that the Lord will send somebody that will number one appreciate you for who you are,
Come on.
that will love you for who you are, and not just love you, they'll love the whole package that comes along with you. There are men
Yeah.
out there that will love you and love your children as if they're own, as if they're their own.
Mm.
So don't like dumb yourself down or tolerate stuff that you don't have to tolerate, thinking that this is what you have to deal with, that you have to deal with a man or a woman that doesn't want to deal with your child because they have to understand when they get you, it's all of you or none of you.
Come
And
on.
I want to encourage you to let you know there is somebody out there that God has designed just for you. Don't
That's
accept
good.
nothing less. Don't lower your standards. Just stick true to who you are, and God's going to send exactly who you need with all your babies. Tell them how many
Come
children
on.
you have, baby. Tell them how many children.
Four. We have
Exactly.
four.
And it was never a question of whether or not I wanted to be with you or not because of your children.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And
It's
I love them.
beautiful.
I wish somebody would tell me them kids ain't mine. You gonna have to fight me in the street.
Uh-huh.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so
That's
funny
all.
because people even say like, "Oh, they look like him." I thought he was
Yeah.
there.
I am the
Really.
papa of the baby. No,
Shut up. I mean, maybe you was. We just
hey,
don't
listen.
know.
Listen, let me tell you. When God does a thing, he
Right.
does it
Yeah.
well.
Well,
Yeah, he
Even to the
does.
point where he will take me, he took me and implanted me in a family where it's believable. You don't look at the family and be like, oh, I know this is a blended family.
Right.
But that's how meticulous God is. And when
Yeah.
you pray and you say and you ask God for what you want, he'll give you the desires of your heart. Exactly
Yeah.
what you want. You ain't got to bend on. You know how we say the older we get, our list gets shorter. No, baby, stay single until somebody who fits your list. The purpose of having a list comes and fits
Come
your
on.
list.
Come
But
on.
pray on your list and make sure your list is realistic.
Yeah.
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 And not only that
Hmm.
it's realistic, make sure it's one thing to have a list, but do you deserve your list?
Come on. Exactly.
You can't ask
Exactly.
God for a husband and you're not a wife. Man that findeth a wife, not a girl that wants to
Uh-huh.
be a wife.
Right.
When I
Right.
found her, she was already put together. It wasn't a
Hmm.
come get me project. No,
Come on.
she was
Hmm.
already she was already a wife, just waiting to be
Yeah.
made a wife.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Welcome. That's why I married her.
We talk about that all the time when Bishop and I have premarital counseling sessions, and it's unfortunate because a lot of times once people get to that premarital place, there's no turning back for them. And the question he'll ask is, "Are you ready? Do you
Mm-hmm.
really believe you're ready?" And people be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm ready." But the reality is that people are preparing; they're not really ready. I tell my kids all the time, "Are you ready to go?" They'll say, "Yes, I'm ready to go."
Mm-hmm.
But they're sitting down, they don't have their shoes on, they don't have
Oh,
all their belongings. You're really not ready. Ready
yeah.
looks like being at the door, completely ready to walk out of the door. So
Book
My
you
bag in
are
hand,
not
my kids will
everything.
ready
say yes
to
and
go.
go in the bathroom and brush their teeth. I'm like, how are you?
Exactly. You're not ready. You got other things you need to do. You're still preparing. And you
Right,
Mm-hmm.
done took a seat. And
right.
now you telling me you ready. You think you ready, but you not.
Yeah, yeah.
So for a lot of
And a lot,
people, they're in that place. They think
yep,
they're ready, but they
yep.
still got their shoes off. They
And that's
still
why
got
we
some extra things they need to get ready for.
go through the problems that we go through in jumping in
Hmm.
and out of relationships and things
Hmm.
because we're not ready.
Hmm.
First of all,
Hmm.
if you don't have stick to itiveness in within yourself, and every time you and your boyfriend girlfriend when you're in that stage have an argument and you run, boo, you ain't ready.
Right. Right.
You don't
Right.
know how to stay in. You wouldn't be able to stay in a marriage for 2 weeks because the
Exactly.
second there's something
Uh-huh.
that you don't like, you run. No, that's not
Yep.
marriage.
You don't
Period.
deal with conflict well. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because when you get married,
Exactly.
running is not an option.
No, it's not. No,
You
it's
got to
not.
learn how to
And
fight.
shutting down isn't either. Yes.
That's it.
Shutting down
Yeah,
isn't an option.
yeah,
You got to communicate. You have to talk about
yeah,
the hard things.
yeah,
Yeah.
You have to deal with
yeah.
stuff. You
And
have
you got to
to. It
deal
just
with
is.
people even during times where you don't like people. Because I know there are some days where she can't stand me because I'm used to being a bachelor and I like to throw my clothes beside the dirty clothes hamper instead of inside the dirty clothes hamper. So then she, instead of going to sleep at night, she
Not
can't
Rick.
sleep.
What?
She's a
Not
neat
Rick.
freak. Mhm. She's a neat freak, and every just one little piece of pants is out of place, and she just can't sleep. She's just sitting there staring at you.
One
Okay,
little piece of
I'm
pants.
exaggerating, just the
Okay.
opposite way. So, so she's just sitting there staring at you. You just trying to get sleep, and I can't sleep because I just feel her eyeballs burning the side of my face, all because I got clothes on the floor.
Now he's exaggerating because I do sleep.
Yeah, okay. Who you gonna believe? No, I'm like,
Tracie.
I know, right? They like her all day, all day. Yeah, yeah. That's
But that's
That is
it's
so
not like
funny. Too
that's a lot.
funny.
Learning to blend with the person will teach you a lot about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Um,
For sure.
how you have to find a way not to dumb yourself down, but at the same time, you have to find a way to coexist with another person.
Mhm. Mhm.
well, for
Mhm.
me, that was, I wouldn't say hard, but I had to learn that because I was independent, like being a
Mm.
only child. I've been alone my whole life basically.
Oh
And
Jesus. Oh.
and you know, being a single mom, I've been pretty independent working this thing by myself. So
Mm.
it was a transition for me to actually not dumb myself down, but let him lead.
Submit.
Gotcha.
But see,
Yeah.
it's easy
Mhm.
to submit when you have something to submit to.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't mislead or misguide you. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, so when a woman won't submit to you, that shows you that she doesn't trust you. Now, the question that
Yeah.
you have to ask yourself is, why doesn't she trust you?
Why? Exactly.
What does she see
Mhm.
in you and what you do and how you lead, or if you lead? Some men have to be pushed to
Mhm.
lead. And how can
Mhm.
she trust you
Mhm.
and submit to you when you have no leadership or you don't even know
You're
where
not
y'all
taking the
going?
lead. Right.
What is she
Yep.
submitting to?
Mhm.
It's almost like she wants to tell you, no, you submit to me. Let me show you. No, and that's out of order.
Right. 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 100%. Well, you guys have been absolutely amazing. This has been great. I know that
I'm
you
just
have
so glad we
blessed
didn't
so many
bomb.
people. No. No. No, I know that I'm going to get so many calls and comments about how you have really
Oh
helped
Lord.
people. So
Amen.
I'll ask you one last question to end this all up, to sum this all up. Tell me um 3 words that you would tell your 15-year prior self. So 15 years earlier from now, what would you words of advice would you tell yourself?
Hmm.
Regarding each other. Oh, I tell him all the
Yeah,
time,
any
like,
uh-huh,
why
yeah.
did you, like, what was it? The 10-year reunion. I'm like, why didn't you why didn't you come see me
Because you weren't ready.
earlier?
Oh,
You weren't ready.
ooh, ooh,
Um,
mm.
But it's probably both cases.
I'm going to stick to the actual
Mhm.
question, and I would say that if I could tell my earlier self anything, 3 words: don't
Yeah,
rush, dude.
Hmm.
Don't rush. Take your time. Trust and know that your steps are ordered by God.
that's
It doesn't
good.
matter. It doesn't matter when you want things to happen. Your
Mhm.
timing and God's timing are totally different. And I would prefer any day to be within God's timing than within my own.
Yeah.
Don't rush.
Mhm.
Enjoy life,
Yeah.
and it's coming. Just chill. It's
Yeah.
coming.
That's good.
You
That's
want to
real
try three
good.
words?
You are so funny.
I understood the assignment. No,
Yeah.
listen, I'm just glad that I have somebody that I can do life with and have fun with. If I can't be
Yeah.
myself, then it's like you having me trapped inside of a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I'm happy that I'm
understand.
free to be. I'm happy to be the free to be the annoying me that I am.
That's awesome, babe.
Because
Because
Whitney, you know, because I'm extra,
He said that's awesome,
extra, extra
babe.
strong about it, and it's a lot. Even with the children, and it's new to them as well, but they embrace it, and we're
Mhm.
enjoying
That's
life together.
great.
And I'm just happy to
That
build
is
these
so
memories.
great.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah,
And I'm happy for you
that
guys.
he's the guy that he is. Because with the whole pastor thing, I was kind of worried. But
Mm.
we have stayed ourselves, true to ourselves.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
The
That's
I'm
silly,
awesome.
goofy us we are.
Pastor Rick at
That's
home
great.
is Rick. It ain't
Yeah.
I'm
Pastor Rick.
sure.
It's Rick. Like
I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
I
I'm grateful.
believe that. I believe that. Well, I bid you all more and more blessings throughout the years to come, and I look forward to years down the line having you guys back just to come and
Mm.
to share more with everybody. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I
Hey,
love you
we should
guys.
we should travel to Dubai and do a session in Dubai together.
We can do that. I'm down for that. Let's go. Let's
Right.
go. We're going to do I'm actually going to do something similar to that. So
Good.
you in the spirit. I feel you.
Good. He,
You in the
he be
spirit.
talking. He be talking. I love you,
That's
and I thank
cool.
you for your podcast. I really do appreciate what you're doing. I really do.
Oh,
Don't stop.
thank you.
Don't stop.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate it.
the funny thing is, after this, if it's still available, I'm gonna go show her the old podcast. Be like, check me
Oh
out back.
yeah, it is. It
Oh, okay.
is. It is for
Look at the
sure.
transformation. My God,
Yes, Lord. All
we
right,
love you.
y'all. Well, thank you, everyone. This was Ladies Takeover Empowerment Podcast. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.
Bye.